Well, hello everybody. It's Shannon here in my hotel room in the Holiday Inn in Terre Haute, and I am being joined this evening by Christine Bertram. Hello, Christine.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi.
she is actually in her home in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. We are recording this video early tonight because she couldn't be with us tomorrow. She actually did a wonderful presentation in Madison. And so I've asked her to do it one more time and so that we can hear it tomorrow. I got to visit Christine in her home last month. I guess it was April. Yeah, she had an event that she did that was a reward event for her customers and or her team following Celebration. So she called it her Celebration. And she, as I was talking to her, it was apparent to me that she found new customers all over the place, like one from here and one from there and everywhere. And so I asked her to tell the leaders in Madison how she found those new customers. And now you guys get to hear the same spectacular presentation. So we've all got this little sheet now. We can follow along. And Christine, take it away. Tell us first a little bit about you and a little bit about your business, and then we're excited to hear what you have to say.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Shannon. I am very excited to be with all of you today. I know that this is happening tomorrow, and while you are having this wonderful event that I got to attend a couple weeks ago, I will be having a card making class, so I couldn't be there. I would have loved the road trip, though. I always love a good road trip. So yes, I met Shannon, well, through the years, but we really got to bond a little bit when I had my celebration back in early April. She flew out from Salt Lake City with Chad and visited a couple other demonstrators and myself for that event. So she became very aware of how I run my business and how I love to find new customers and share this love for stamping that I have. So I started stamping back in 2001 when I was a little one. And the first thing I ever did was I did heat embossing, and I was hook, line, and sinkered with that. And I only was going to buy 3 sets, one for Christmas, one for making birthday cards, and one for like general stuff, and that was it. That's all I ever was going to do. But you know what? I have a house now that is dedicated to stamping pretty much. I'm in my kind of semi-quasi office where I do my photographs and my recording, and I have a whole room upstairs for designing and all my card supplies. I have a whole living room and dining room that I converted into a classroom that is where I can fit up to 20 people. For that celebration, we had 20 people there that night. So I was only going to do that for a little bit, and I became a demonstrator in 2013. And I wasn't ever going to do anything. I signed up when it was $25. I signed up just to get the 30% offering on your first order. And I got all my friends and family together to place that order, and I was going to be done. And that's what they all say, right? So here we are 5 years later, and I'm a Silver Elite. I have 21 direct downline, and I have probably 7 more that are on my direct downline. So I have about 30 on my team now. And I love stamping, and I love sharing it with people. So it makes it very easy because I live and breathe it. So I want to share with you different ways that I find new customers, because that's always when you are starting out, or even when you've been in a long time, it's like, how do you find new customers? Because your goal is to get people to sign up to be on your team. You sign up your very best customers, but then you need to replace their sales with more sales. And how do you do that? But you have to find new customers. So if you all have your sheet, I have notes all over my sheet if you can see them. But you all have, what I did is I took out all my notes and made little headers so that you can write notes and jot your notes down while I'm talking, because I really hope that you go home with lots of wonderful, fabulous ideas that you can start right away. After the Madison event, I had 5 people that came up to me afterwards and said, this presentation was great, and I can actually go home and start implementing some of this stuff right away. So hopefully I can spark the light under your butt and start going. So, all right, so I've got lots of different categories, and I don't have a lot of time. So I talk very, very fast. So the wonderful thing about this is that maybe you can replay it sometime, I don't know. But the first thing on my list here is a referral program. So I have free class passes, and I have these little things that I'll talk about later, but I have free class passes, and Shannon has copies of the pictures that we can share from the one event to this one. So you can see how I have them written up. But I have these class passes made up, and what I did, the best way to get new customers is to have referrals from your own customers, because they have been coming to class with you and they know what it's all about. So I handed out these free class passes at all my events in January, February, and March. and I had my customers write their name on them. And then they were to hand them out to friends and family. And I had a contest that whoever had the most turned back in would earn either a half off item with me or a $25 gift certificate. So I ran it all through Celebration, and I told people it wasn't going to really end after Celebration, that if they still had handed out a class pass to somebody, that I would still honor it. But people love to try before they buy, right? I mean, we're all the same way. If I get a free something or other, I'm going to use it. And you know what? If I like it, I'm going to keep using it. So if you're having a class, it doesn't take much more to cut up another card kit or have extra product there to have people use it. It's more paper. So you're already having the class, so your time is already being used. So I had that referral program. Handing out free class passes is a really big thing. So hand out free class passes. Facebook. So I have a Facebook business page and I have a VIP page. But everything basically that I do for my business in terms of my events and my classes is funneled through my Facebook business page. And I make sure that everybody that I come in contact with that comes to a class is a friend of mine, because then when I create my Facebook event, they can be invited, because then I can physically go in and invite them, and then it'll show up in their notifications and remind them of this event. Well, when they mark interested or going to the event, then that triggers like their friends to see that they're going to an event. So then their friends see it, and then that draws more interaction and visibility to you. And I will even go so far as to people that mark interested, I will find them on Messenger and I will send them a, hey, I saw that you marked interested to my event, but you didn't sign up. If it didn't work out with the time, just know here's a class schedule. And I will send in that little messenger of my class schedule. And you know what? I have people that message me back and say, oh, I couldn't make this one, but yeah, I'm interested. Okay, so use Facebook to its best. So go back and make sure that you check with them. When it comes to my classes, though, when people mark going, I don't always mark that as the official RSVP. I always still ask them to email me or call, text, Facebook message me. Okay, so Facebook. Use Facebook as best you can. I advertise in my local paper, so it's free. It's called Eventful, is the program that the local newspaper uses. And every time I create an event on Facebook, I have a Facebook link, and then when I go into my paper, I can go in and put the title, the time, the Facebook event, a picture of it, and then I have gotten more people that have said, well, I saw your ads in the paper, and after they've seen it like for a year, they're like, I finally decided to try it. Oh my gosh, on Tuesday, I have a gal who contacted me back in January and said, I am busy, but she signed up and she's coming on Tuesday because she saw my class in the paper over and over, consistency. So I always put it in the paper, it's free. All right, so that's another thing. Check out your local newspaper if they have something like that, or if they have something local that you can post activities and your events. Okay, use stamp sales. So my upline, Kelly Atchison, always did an annual stamp sale at her house. You know what? I'm like, wow, what great way to get people to find out that you sell Stampin' Up! So I host 3 used stamp sales a year, one in the spring, one in the summer, and one in the fall. And what I did is I always advertise them in the paper. I pay for that one. It's like $16 to post it in your paper. Well, then you're going to catch people that aren't always on Facebook, or they're new. So people want a good deal. So how I run that is the same way that she does, in terms of, if you're on my team, you get credit back, and if you're my customer, you get credit for the new catalog. So if you have more questions about that, how I run that, let me know. But basically, I'm getting people that I would never have known otherwise to come in. And I honestly, like, my last sale was in March, and I've had 3 new customers coming to my classes recently because I just met them from the last event. So if you really, really want to annoy I said this in Madison, if you really, really want to annoy your boyfriend, have him help you load all your stuff up and tell him, tell him that he's going to be moving all these boxes out of my living room and putting them into this and helping me carry back and forth. So, that's how that works. So have a used stamp sale. Now, what I do in conjunction with that is I have a friend who does LuLaRoe, and I have a friend who does 31. They know people, the other girl knows people, and I host an event called a Small Business Showcase. And we invited a Pamper Chef girl, we invited a Scentsy, we invited LeBry, and they all know people. And so I am hosting on a twice-a-year basis these events where it not only draws my customers and used stamp sale people that want to come and shop, but they invite all of their friends. So we had over 200 people that came to this last event. So that really draws in people. So get in with somebody that you know that does these other direct sales, and they'll bring their customers. So that kind of ties in with the next one that's on my list is vendor events. And so the small business showcase is a vendor event, but that's something that I organize, where the other vendor event is I get in on like a Christmas one or a fall one where I actually pay $25 or $20 for a table and I go set up. And I go to set up to promote my classes. I don't try to like sell a lot of handmade things. I am so busy that I don't have time to sell a lot except for my cards. I always have lots of cards on the spinner. And that's what draws people in, because they have to have a reason to come and look at your table. They're not going to just come over if you're trying to promote your classes. So I have my table there and some small little gift things that I've made up. And so that draws people in, but then I'm able to hand out a catalog or sell a catalog. How I do my catalogs for when I'm at vendor events is I charge $3, but then I tell them that I'll give them the $3 back once they place their first order with me. So it's like I'm not losing out if they never place an order with me, which is great. Then I don't feel bad giving out catalogs, and I don't feel bad charging for them either. But once they become my customers get free catalogs. So I do a couple vendor events like that a year. So, and then the next thing on my list is the Fondue Fest, or it's like farmers markets. So once a year I go to this Fondue Fest. It's like a big, they close down Main Street in Fond du Lac and 20,000 people walk through. And oh my goodness, I'm the only Stampin' Up! Person there. And you'd be amazed that like, oh, you do Stampin' Up! I don't have a Stampin' Up! Person. And it's like, okay, so I meet people that way. And again, I am displaying my class boards. I have some different samples. It's in September, so I have all the new holiday catalog product there that people can look at. And so that's promoting my business. And then Farmers Market. This is a great event that I am the educational piece at the Fond du Lac Farmers Market, and it's right before 4th of July this year. So I'm going to be in conjunction with Salute the Troops, which is a local organization, and I'm going to be set up teaching people how to stamp and make cards. And all the cards are going to be soldier or like veteran, like Marine, like whatever division it is related. And I'm going to donate all those cards to Salute the Troops to send them to our local soldiers that are either deployed or not home. So get in touch with a different organization and make a difference. Okay, so free make and takes there, and then I donate the cards. All right, here's another one. What I was doing tonight, right before I got here, is I was having dinner with a networking group. I was part of the Fond du Lac Business Builders, and it was a networking group. Okay, so I got a few customers from that, and it was a group that you promote each other's businesses. So get out and like find what kind of networking groups are in your organization or in your community. Another one that I joined was the Professional Women's Connection. Oh my gosh, 62 women, all part of this group, and they're all like between mainly 30 and 70, and they are all looking for a new hobby, right? So why not be card making? And what they have is if you donate a raffle item, you can talk about your business and say a little 2-minute speech about what you do. And so I always donate free class passes and some cards. So who can't use some cards? So get involved in different networking groups. All right. So one of my customers, this next one is half-hour lunchtime classes at local businesses. One of my customers she still works at a company, which is actually where I have a full-time job now. She is part of the activities committee. And they're always looking for fun things for employees to do over their lunch hour. And she's like, well, why not come in and try to make cards? And so I did. And I presented, like, we make one card in a half hour, and it's $5. The most I've ever had was 11 people making 21 cards, because now it's at the point where they don't want to just make one card. They want to make 2 cards. And one guy even came when I had class last month. He made 4 Mother's Day cards. And I just priced it accordingly. And so it's like good work-life balance is the word that we learned in Madison, that if you're going to go into a local business and ask them, like, hey, would you ever consider doing something like this? You want to say it's good work-life balance, because it really gets your mind off of what you're doing at work, and it like refreshes you and it gets you started for the afternoon. So I started off doing that once a month, and now I do it twice a month, and the girls just love it. And sometimes every now and then a guy comes to class. So that's great. Like, think about what kind of businesses in your community would be up for something like that. Okay, I sell cards at local businesses. So whenever I'm making my card kits, I always forecast ahead if I'm going to have 15 or 16, 20, whatever. I forecast how many people I'm going to have for that class. And I'm always having leftover kits, between like 1 and 4 kits. And so I make those cards up, and I will put my class schedule and a business card in a clear envelope, and I will take them to a local business. There's a goat farm nearby, and they have a cute little cafe and little shop. And I take them there and I sell. So when they get sold, whoever buys that card to give will see my class schedule, and they will see my business card there. And if they're like, oh my gosh, like this looks sort of super cool, I want to do this, then they have all my contact information. So take your cards, don't just hoard them and like, I shouldn't say hoard, collect them, keep them, don't keep them all for yourself, put them together and try to sell them. I had one of the gals on my team like learn that I did that. And she's like, well, do you have any ideas of where I could go? I'm like, yes, there's a floral shop right down the road from me called Hensey's Floral. I sold my cards there 2 years ago and I just couldn't keep up with it. So I got my team member in with this guy, and she took 100 cards and he bought them from her outright and just was like, yep, looked through them. He's like, yep, these are good. And so that's helping her then increase her sales, because she's going to have to buy new product then to keep making cards, right? So sell your cards at a local business. That will help as well. Okay, this next one is so cute. I coined this word, I think. So you want to make halfers. So I think you can see that. I call it little halfers. And I'm going to open this up so that you can see what this entails. But Stampin' Up! Used to have these clear envelopes. I think they went away last year, and I bought like 12 packs before they did. But I think it's 6 by 3, and there's a cellophane envelope. And what I do is I took a note card. So we can buy our note cards in envelopes. And I just cut it right in half so that it was a half of a card. And then what I did with the envelope is I cut it in half. And what happens when you cut it in half is like, oh my goodness, like you got to seal it shut. Well, use some of your cute washi tape. Okay. And what I did is this is the perfect size to put your free class pass on the back. And as I went to my events or when I'm somewhere, I can hand these out. And what I say is, hey, would you like a cute little birthday card to give to somebody special in your life? And then, you know what? They think it's so cute and adorable. And you tell them, you know what? You can learn how to make these if you want, because I teach you how to do this. So I call these like my little halfers, and they don't use a lot of product. And find somebody on your team or your mom or anybody who wants to, your daughter, put her to work, have her help you put 50 of these together and then have them in your bag and just grab them as you need them. A cute way to promote your business as well, little halfers. All right, tip treats. Oh my gosh, this was like the craziest thing in Madison. So like a week prior to me doing this training, I was on Facebook, like I'm on all the groups like you girls probably are, and somebody was talking about tip treats. And I actually did a screenshot on my phone because I'm like, oh, well, when I go out to dinner and I want to leave a tip for the waitress, like what better way to leave a cute little adorable treat with it, like that's just like a little, like a piece of candy or a mint, and put a little thing on it with your information. And so they're called tip treats. And this gal was actually in Madison, and it was like, oh my God, I met her. So so leave something for your waitress. If you like to go out for lunch or dinner, what better way to meet people? Like, look, your waitress like wants a fun hobby to do, right? So okay, so tip treats. All you have to do is go to Google or Facebook, anywhere, and look up tip treats, and you'll get different ideas on that one. Free class passes. We talked about that a lot, but don't be afraid to give away a few extra pieces of paper at class. What are you out? Really nothing. So like, because you never know, that person could be like the best, longest, like lifelong customer you ever end up with. And people like to, I mentioned this earlier, they like to try before they buy. You know what? Like once you get them in it's hard to get people in your front door, but once you get them in your door, give them like the most memorable and amazing experience ever, and they'll keep coming back. So give away those free class passes. Okay, here's something that happened to me in the last 2 weeks. So I have my friend who does the LuLaRoe, and I met one of her customers, and she does the whole painting with diamonds thing. And she made this elaborate big painting with diamond with me. And she charged me like this amount that I never could like ever, like it was like nothing. Like it probably took her 40 hours. So I gave her the cash. I gave her 4 cards. And you know what I said while I was done? I'm like, hey, would you like to come to one of my classes for free? You deserve it. You earned it. You've probably spent so much time doing this for me. Like I can never repay you fully for this. She came to class on Wednesday, and she messaged me the next day and was like, can we sit down and talk? I've gone through these catalogs and I have lots of questions, and I'm really curious about your In Color Club that you mentioned last night. Like, oh my gosh, all because I offered her a free class pass. Don't be afraid to give away a class for free the first time. Honestly, like you never know what you're going to get out of it. All it really costs you was a few extra pieces of paper. Okay, this is something that I always do. I live and breathe Stampin' Up, and Shannon probably knows this by now, and everybody knows that that's close to me. I talk it up everywhere I go. And it's natural for me. And I'm not pushy about it, but I love it so much that you can't help stuff. You can't not share it. So everywhere I go, I'm talking about it. I'm carrying my class passes and my schedules. I went and opened up a checking account with my boyfriend this past January, so 3 months ago. And she's like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, I stamp, and I actually teach classes. Oh, you do? Really? Yeah, why do you stamp? Yeah, I stamp. And I would love to have somebody local that I could go and attend classes, because I don't have somebody that I want to learn. And that's what I love to do. I love to teach people new techniques and tricks and stuff. So here I have a customer that wants to come, and she's been coming once a month to a class just to learn and have fun and socialize. And she's brought her sisters with. So it's and then now that sister's brought. So you never know who you're going to meet by just talking it up. Another example, I got my oil changed last 3 weeks ago, and I always bring stuff. I cannot be doing nothing. I have to be doing something. So I was putting kits together, or cards together for my in-color class that I was having. I had 2 people that came up to me and were like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm stamping. Oh, what's that? Oh, I'm making cards and I stamp. I do this. Oh, you do? I think I know somebody that does that. Can I have your business card? I'll share that with them because they stamp. You know what? You always just got to be talking about it. And you can't be afraid, because you do something that's so wonderful and it can change somebody's life so much for the better. So many people tell me that it's like therapy. So why would you want to keep that from people? Be willing to share it, and don't be afraid to share it. Okay, so live and breathe Stampin' Up, and you gotta be excited. I think one of the things that Shannon liked about me. I'm always super excited about stamping, unless I'm not feeling good. But usually I'm excited about stamping. It's in my blood, and I just love it so much that I just want to share it. And when you're excited about something and you're passionate about something, people are gonna be drawn to you too, because they want what you have. They want to be excited and happy too. So always be excited. It's always easier to share something with other people when you love it as much as you do. And when you look at it like that, I love sharing it. To me, I never feel like I'm selling stuff. I feel like I'm sharing it, and people love what I have. So I never feel like I have to sell anything, because I'm always sharing things and people want it. So I am the glue to my team. I'm the glue to my customers, and that fuels their fire. So start that fire with them, and you're gonna go places, and you're gonna find new customers all the time. So one of the things that so that's everything I think I got through on my list really, really fast. But then Shannon was like, well, how do you help your team find new customers? Well, I had mentioned a little bit earlier about selling my cards at a local business and helping my customer do that. And so the thing is, the majority of my team, they're hobbyists, and they don't hold classes, and they say, I never want to do what you do. Well, you know what? I never wanted to do what I am doing either. This would have scared me a lot. If you would have told me this. But sometimes it starts out slow for people, and they do move from doing nothing except for ordering for themselves. I mean, you could be your best customer. That's not a problem. And don't ever make me feel guilty for being their best customer, but be there for them when they're ready to do more. And the thing that I noticed at Onstage in Minneapolis is that Sarah was calling it gatherings. Gatherings is not a scary word, right? You're getting together with your friends. So encourage your team, the people in your team, instead of having classes where they have to prep a lot of work, and that's a lot for people. Tell them to just invite their girlfriends over and to stamp, and tell them to bring stuff to work on. And you know what? When they're done, just say, hey, I'm putting in an order. Do you want anything? That's all you gotta say. If they don't want to, they won't. But if they do, they're gonna be like, okay, I want this and this and this. And make sure what you're using is Stampin' Up stuff, because then they're going to be like, oh, I want that. Oh my gosh, that's what you're using. I need that. So have gatherings. And so that will help your team feel like they're not having this big commitment of I got to cut all this paper and I got to make and design cards. That can be overwhelming for people. So just encourage them to have gatherings. And that's what ever since I came back from Onstage, that's what I've been telling my team, have gatherings. So the other thing is I started having team meetings recently as well. My upline, Kelly, does a lot. So on a monthly basis, I take my team up there that's business minded. But you know what? What I've learned recently is you need to, even if you have 3 people on your team, you want to keep them engaged and stamping. And there's just something about that camaraderie and that synergy that you build when you are stamping. And so to encourage my team, I started I'm doing quarterly team meetings to start. And so I didn't do this at the last one, but after Shannon asked me to do this presentation, what can I do to build people to have gatherings? So what I'm going to do is I don't know if it's on the sheet or not, but I'm going to start doing I already do Queen of Sales. And what I'm going to do is queen bee of team building. But what I am going to start doing is queen bee of gatherings. And I'm going to tell people on my team to start keeping track of how many gatherings they have every month. And I'm going to do a contest. Like, people love to win things, right? So have them have the ability to earn something for free. Give them an embossing folder. Give them a $10 gift certificate with you. And then they can pick out whatever they want out of the catalog. But people love friendly little competitions. Don't ever make it stressful for people. But say, hey, whoever has the most gatherings, or like if you have more than 3 gatherings in a month or whatever time period, set some parameters around it. You get your name in for a drawing for a free something or other. Yeah, that's a great way to get your team then having gatherings. And you know what? When they start having gatherings and getting more sales, the more likely they are to stay active quarter after quarter, which is going to help you, because it always helps to have active people on your team that are purchasing product. So you got to start somewhere, and anywhere you are at this point, just remember, don't always look around what others are doing. Just figure out where you're at and what you can do, what you can handle, because you got it. You guys got to start somewhere, and just adding in a little something here and a little something there will add up to big things later on. And if you start to feel overwhelmed with something, just cut back a little bit. You know, you have to do what works for you. My number one goals in life and with my stamping career are always for my customers and for me to have fun and be happy while I'm doing it. And if you can show your team and your customers that happy, fun atmosphere, they're going to keep coming back to you. So other than that, I don't know. Well, I don't know if Shannon can talk to me now, if she can ask me a question or not, but is there anything else you want me to cover?
That was awesome. Thank you so much. No, I love the way you ended with your number one thing is to have fun, because I was thinking while you were doing this presentation that you can just tell by the way you're talking that you're fun to be around because of your love for stamping. So that's infectious, and so many good tips. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. And you guys, I am part of the group, the Facebook group, and you could tag me in a post somewhere if that people have any questions. They're more than welcome to send me a note via Facebook and find me a messenger. I'm out there, so just look for me, and I'm more than happy to help. I love helping. So
okay, you put your last name. Oh yeah, your name's on the paper, so they could reach out if they wanted to. Yeah. Yep. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Perfect. And I'm gonna end the recording now. So
have fun for the rest of your day. Learn lots and take lots of notes, and just have fun stamping and everything. Thank you for watching, everybody.